Yeah, Rajesh, Srinivas. Here you can see the worker screen, right? Worker screen with the list of workers available. Okay. So here, along with this list of workers available, you can see a part of information here. That is worker loans, worker skills, transaction, tax registration info. These are all information you can see over here. Okay. If I click on a particular record, that information will be displayed here. So this small piece of information is called as a info part, or we can call it as a fact boxes also.
What is that
Info
one
part,
text box?
fact box.
Okay.
Info parts or fact boxes. Okay, which will show a small piece of information along with the list of data available. Okay, so we can create such type of info part in our form also. By creating a new form, by creating a menu item, making all these things, we can create a info part. To make info part, we have a series of steps. Okay, first what you need to do is you have to say, suppose I have this stock. Okay, and I want to create an info part over here by displaying the stock return order. I want to display the stock return order. Okay, so what I will do is first I will create a new table over here. New table, and the table name I will give it as this is stock return order. Okay, and here I am creating the fields. Stock ID, stock name, and date. I am giving the date. Date as DEC sticker stock return order date. Okay, I have given 3 fields. Okay, now I am creating a form for this stock return order. New form. I have created a form, and in the form data source, I am dragging this field. And here in the design, I am adding a new grid control. So in the grid control, I will drag the fields from the data source. Stock ID, stock name, stock return order. I have placed the fields. Now I want to enter some data in this. Okay, so before entering the data, I want to know what are the stocks available. So I want to enter the stock data of this. So instead of saying every time, I will create a relation between these two tables. So here in the relation, I am creating a new relation. DRTN and table name is D stock, and here the type of relation I am going to create is normal relation. Click on the field, Click on the related field. Now go to the stock return order. You can see the data. Okay. Click on 1001 stock return order data. Like this, you enter some data. Control N. Control N. Okay. I have entered some data. 1 to 6 records. Now, after entering the data, you create an index in the DEC stock ID. Create an index over here. New index. IDX RTM. And in the index, you drag the field stock ID. Okay. So what we have done is we have created a new table, this stock return order. We have created a new form, this is stock return order, and we have entered the data into the form, and we have created an index on the return order data. Newly created form, we have created index. Now we have to create a query that will take the source as a info part source. Okay, we have to create a query for this to make a source for the info part. So to create a query, it's not like writing the select statement. The query is a object over here. The query will be object here. So right click new group, queries, here right click new query, here DEC RTM query. The query object name I have given as DEC RTM query. In this data source, you drag the newly created table, that is DEC stock return order table. Okay. This is the same procedure as you done for the form. Am I right? The same procedure what you done for the form. For the create a form object and drag the table into the data source. Here also create a query object, drag the table into the data source. Now in the data source you can see the fields are here. But in the query, if you see, you cannot see the fields. Here you can see the fields, here you cannot see the fields. Okay. So what we do is, here for the fields property we have the dynamic as unselected. You make it as yes. Okay. Now if you expand this, you can see the fields. Now you can see both objects. You can see the fields. This is the query object and this is the form object. Okay. So this is done. Now, what is the form that you want to show as info part? I want to show this as an info part. I want to show this as info part. That is, within the same form, I want to show another form. Within the same form, I want to show another form. So, in the menu item display, I will drag this stock return order date. Stock return or DEC stock return order, I will drag into the display. The menu item display, I am dragging this. Okay. In this stock return order properties, here we will be having the object type as a form. Okay. Now, are we showing the form or are we showing the info parts? Are we within the same form? Are we showing the form or are we showing the info part? Inverse.
Info part.
We are showing in the same form. We are showing as a info part. This form we are showing as a info part. So here object type to make it as a info part. Object type as a info part. Okay. What is the object here? The info part. So we will place here the info part here later. Okay. Now this is done. We have changed the form as an info part. So object has to be info part here. Where we have to create the info part is we have to create one more object here. In the AOT we have to create one more object as a parts. Right click new group. Parts. Click new group. Info parts. So here in the info parts, right click, create a new info part. Okay, new info part. Info part name we give it as DEC RTN info part. See here for creating info part we are having a number of steps. We have to remember all the steps. I will send you the steps as a file. Okay, for the number sequence in info part I will send you the steps as a file.
Sorry.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see my screen?
No.
No, Banu.
No, but hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, any one of you make me presenter. Right click on my name and make me presenter. Now you can see, right?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have created a info part here, new info part. Once you create an info part, for this particular info part, I have to select the query here. What is the query? The query that I have selected here, I have created here. DEC return query has to be selected in the info part. So for the info part, the source of data is the query. For this info part, the source of the data is the query. So here the query is DEC return query. Okay, we got the source of info part. Now in this info part, if you expand this info part, you get a layout. Okay, in this layout you create a new group. Okay, the group should contain the data source. The data source is nothing but the source of the data. In the query we have the stock return order as a data source. Okay, in the query we got the DEC stock return order as data source. So select the data source. See here, in the data source we got the DEC STK return order _1. So I am selecting that as a data source. Okay. So I have selected the data source. Here nothing to select, only this data source. While creating an info part, remember this, first for the info part you select the query. Okay, and in the layout when you create a group, for the group you select the data source that is available in the query. Okay, now in the group, right click, you select the fields that you want to show as an info part. You select the fields that are available in the data source. Okay, select the fields that are available in the data source which you want to show as an info part. Click on the new field. Field name I am giving as ID, Control C, Control V, and data source is the data source name. Data field is the DEC stock ID. Okay, this is available in this data source. And new field, stock name, stock name, data source, stock return order, data field is the stock name. Again, group, new field, return order, date, label or something, return order date, data source, return order, here, this is stock name. Now this is done. Okay, info part is created. Now come to our forms. In the forms, now where do you want to show this info part? You want to show this info part in the B stock, that is in the parent form. Here you want to show the info part, right? So here expand this, go to the parts, right click, new part reference. Make it as new part reference. So no need of giving any name, and the menu item name is what is the menu item name? Display. This is DEC stock return order. DEC stock return order is the menu item name. So in the part reference, DEC stock return order, we select this. Okay, now you have selected this, right? Now go to this display, click on this menu item stock return order. Now we got the info part. Info part is the object type. So what is the object name of the info part? The object name of the info part is the DEC return info part. Okay, so select that info part here. DEC return info part. Okay, once you select this DEC return info part, in the forms part reference, you'll get the data relation automatically. You'll get the data relation automatically. Okay. Now this is done. So open this dstock. Now you can see the data here. 1001 MG. Now if I click over here, I'll get the second data. If I click over here, I'll get third data. 4, 5, 6. For this I did not enter any data. For this also I did not enter any data. Till here I entered the data. Now generally we got the data in the form, in this form. In the grid form we got the data. So to make it into the grid form, go to the info part, group. In the group we got a property called repeating. You make it as repeating to yes. See, we got in the grid form. Okay. So for creating info part, how many objects we have created? We have created the query object, we have created the info part object, and we have created a menu object. Okay.
And table form also, right?
Sorry?
And we have created new table and form also, right?
New table and form also.
Yeah.
Okay. Rajesh, any doubts?
No, Banu.
Is this confusing? Anything confusing?
But this is the same way like I asked you before, right? Like for sales order, okay, for this order I have 2 items. This is the same functionality.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, tell me, Srinivas.
Yeah, what is my question? I asked you before some days back, okay. What is my question? If the sales order having 2 orders, one sales ID having 2 orders, okay. If I click the sales ID, so it will display to whatever orders are there for a particular sales ID. So is it?
Yeah, you can do it.
This is the
Yeah,
same.
you can do with this.
Okay. Is there another way to create that functionality, Banu?
Which functionality?
I asked you, right, this one for sales order functionality, sales, sales ID, I have 2 items for particular sales ID.
Okay.
For that functionality, this is only one way, or is there any other way to create that functionality?
This is the way only for creating, or you can show them, you can create a new form and you can show it in a new form. But if you want to show a very little information, then you can go for info part. Instead of going for a new form or a dialog, you can go for the info part.
No, my requirement is, I want to merge, in 2 forms in 1 form. Okay. See, example, take example sales ID. Okay. Sales ID 1, 2, 3 I have. Okay. For that sales ID, I have 2 items.
Okay.
This item ID and the name and the available location, warehouse information, everything. Okay, in that case, which one you suggest? Info part, or is there another way to create that functionality?
I suggest info part, because that is, info part is the traditional way for showing the forms.
Okay.
And here we have one more concept, classes.
If I want to make form one by one, like one up and one is below, how can I do that one?
Form below, I didn't get you.
See, one form is up and one form is below. Like if I select the sales ID, okay, so it will display the sales items in below. Okay, like that I want to display.
Within the same form, you created two grids.
Okay.
Okay. So for that grid, you can write the functionality. I'll tell you that that concept is there for us. Still, I
Okay.
did not cover that. That
Okay. What is
concept
that?
is there.
What is that concept name?
I forgot the concept name, but we can show that we have that concept in the coming classes.
Okay, no problem.
Within the same form, what I'll do is
Mm.
I'll create a grid here, and I'll create one more grid at the bottom. Okay. If I click on this grid, okay. If I click on this stock ID, I'll get the details of the stock ID of the another form in the bottom.
Right, right. Same thing I want. Yes.
Yeah, we can do that. The concept is there.
Okay. And one more thing. Okay, if I want to place the controls anywhere in the form, like if you are taking in the ASP.NET, okay, we can place control
No,
anywhere.
it's not possible here. Here we have to place it either at the deep left or deep right or a center. You cannot place wherever you want. You cannot. This is a ERP application. The controls has to be in the standard form.
Okay.
See, if you see anywhere in the application, anywhere, any form in the application, everything will be in a particular order or in a group. You see, this is one group. This is one group. Okay, this is one group.
Okay.
You cannot place it wherever you want.
Yeah, like
Okay,
this I want to
see
display, right?
if I want to place this up and down in the middle, I cannot place it in the middle.
Okay.
Either I can place it in the left or I can place it in the right.
Okay, got it. See, by seeing this form, okay, I want to know form name. How can I see that one? I think right click, we can see the information, right?
The form name, right
Yeah.
click, personalize information, HR
Okay,
option
right.
start.
Okay, okay, got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We have the classes also here. Classes. Actually, the classes here are used for developing the business logic, completely business logic. Okay. Suppose if I create a class here, I am creating a new class. In the class name, I am giving it as CLS BSC stocks. Okay. And suppose if I create a new method here and I want to access it, I am creating a new method here in the class. And I'm making it as a public class. Public void. Info. New class method. Okay. So this class method, suppose I want to execute this class from the form. This class method I want to call it from the form. That means one action is to be performed. So what I will do is, in the dstock, I'll create a new menu item button. Okay. And for the menu item button, the source will be from the menu items action. Now cover the display. For the display. Now one more object is the action. So in the action, what I will do is I will drag this class name. I'll drag this class name. Okay. So in the menu item button, overview button group, I'll create a new menu item button. Okay. In the menu item button, text I will give it as class action. Class action. Okay. Here, menu item type it is action. Menu item name is CLS DC stock. CLS DC stocks is the menu item type. Menu item name and menu item type. Now here in this action, the object type is class and object is CLS DC stocks. Okay. So when I execute this class, it has to execute the method that is available in the class with the wizard functionality. So in the class, every class that is getting executed will be with the main method. Okay. So in the class, what I will do is I will create a new method, public void main and here our method name is our class name, first class name is CLS DC stocks equal to new CLS DC stocks. I am creating the object for the class and CLS D stocks dot new class method. I am calling this new. Okay. Whenever you want to execute a class, okay, whenever you want to execute a business functionality, in that class you should have a main function. You should have the main function so that it will here in the action, it is calling the CLS D stocks. When it is calling the CLS D stocks, it will check for the main function here. In the main function, it has to call the objects and methods from the main function. Okay. Now in the form, you click on the class action. Main method, we have this. Object does not have main. Let me see this.
But we are not able to see your screen.
Yeah, just a minute. this one. This one. CMS main, click, make it as started. Just a minute. Hello? Hello?
Muted. Unmuted. Muted. Unmuted. Muted. Unmuted.
Hi Banu. Hi Rajesh. హలో
Yes, Srinivas. Yes, Srinivas.
ఉన్నారా? ఇంకా క్లోజ్ అయిపోయింది అనుకున్నా.
Yeah. So here we have made it as a public static void, and we'll try it once again. Okay. So we got a new class method here on the class action. Here in the main function, what we need to do is we have to give it as a public static void main. It is just like, I think you know about the Java programs. We have the public static void args, public static void main args. In the same way, we have this public static void main in which the first method in the class will be executed. Here you see, in this display or in the display objects or in the
Muted.
menu item button objects, we did not mention anywhere the main object. We have mentioned only the class name. We have mentioned only the class name. In the action, we have mentioned only the class name. Okay, so by mentioning the class name, it will check for the main method in the class name. So main method should be the public static void main, so that in main method we have created an object for the class. We have created an object for the class and we have called the method in the class object. So in the class object method, what we are having new class method. So this is getting executed when we click on the class action, new class method. Okay. This is how the classes are executed in the real-time environment also. In the real-time environment, the classes will be executed with the main method only. Okay. Srinivas.
Unmuted.
Yeah, Banu. If I want, if I want to call method from class into form, how can I do that one? Without main method, we cannot call.
That you can call it. In the button click, you can call it. You can create an object for the class. You can create a. You can call the class.
Okay, class and class dot method name, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Object dot method name, not class dot method.
Yes, yeah, right. Object dot method.
Okay. Fine. We catch you tomorrow with other topic. Okay.
Okay.
Fine. Bye.